the good, the bad, the fugly from NFL Week 14. JT, you are our esteemed, illustrious guest, so I will let you go first. What was your good from this week?
Oh, so I guess I got to go onto this bus first. All right, so here we go. I was going to give it to Josh Allen, but I'm going to leave that for one of you guys. I'm pretty sure I know who's going to talk about Josh Allen ad nauseum. So I'll just pat myself on the back. The good, my preseason Super Bowl picks officially being the number one seeds in the AFC and NFC. So the good, the Dallas Cowboys, and my guy who everyone said couldn't play quarterback up in Baltimore, Lamar Jackson, once again in the Ravens to the AFC number one seed when he's healthy, like his clockwork. So those are my two goods for the week.
That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah. So listen, you've been mentioning him. Let's start out the gate and talk about it. I looked at all the games this week, and honestly, I could have went with the Bills. I could have went with the Titans with a huge comeback win against the Dolphins, and would have just been disowned by family if that were the case. But for me, as a Giant fan, since I have to watch them win a game and lose out on a really good draft pick, I may as well have fun with it like the rest of the world. So my good this week is the New York Giants and the NFL media in general making Tommy DeVito and that whole character fun to watch right now. It was fun when we found out he's this Italian kid from New Jersey, still lives at home with his mom, who cooks him dinner, does his laundry as he's an NFL player. Now, learning who his agent is and what he looks like, it's like something out of a movie. His agent looks like an extra on Who Framed Roger Rabbit. His agent looks like an extra on The Goodfellas. His agent, as Jerm mentioned, looks like he manages a 1940s nightclub. It's absolutely incredible. The tailgate spread that him and his family had was old school Jersey Italian, everything from pasta to cutlets. They were making sandwiches. So my good this week is actually being able to enjoy the Giants and laugh about it after what has been an absolute abysmal season. And yes, I have to be proud that they did come away with a win against a Green Bay team that has actually been on a tear the past couple of weeks too. Saquon looking good. Tommy DeVito, decent outing. Nothing to write home about, but honestly, showing up on a Monday night, what more could you ask for?
Little golf clap for Tommy DeVito, guys. How about that? How about a little golf clap?
Are we buying that all the people that are surrounding him are like this in real life? Or are they leaning into the NFL storyline?
I think this week
really
more
dressed like that. I want to see.
His agent. No, there's pictures. His agent dresses like that. It's he
was dressed like that last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a picture of him. He had like a wife beater under a blazer with a skinny gold chain. Listen, I like it, and opportunities only come up. They're fleeting, right? Moments are fleeting in life. So when you get your little 15 minutes, you take advantage of it. Have at it. Looking like an extra from Goodfellas. Go do it. Tommy DeVito and his whole. I think this week you're onto something. This week more than the last couple weeks. I think they're starting now that the media's on them. Like I'd rather the cameras be on Tommy DeVito and his family than Taylor Swift. And they're definitely leaning into it. They got the hand gesture. It's a story that writes itself, and it's just appropriate because it doesn't work if he played in Carolina, right? It doesn't work if he plays in Minnesota. The fact that he plays in New Jersey, essentially, in that market, heavy Italian American market, it just works. Everything just works. He's a New York guy, so it's. I love it. I love the whole story, and again, yeah, it sucks that you miss out on the draft pick, but who's happier than not only just Tommy DeVito, but Brian Dable, who was about to lose his job until Tommy DeVito. So, yeah, he may not be throwing for 1,000 yards a game, but they're winning. And it's something that you can kind of, maybe not for Tommy DeVito, but maybe for your coach. Like, hey, told you, it was Daniel Jones, not me. And everybody who was hopping off the Brian Dable train, hop right back on. And we'll push this thing forward with Tommy DeVito. I mean, with the same team, right? Same receivers, making Isaiah Hodgins look relevant, making these guys look relevant. So, I'm not saying that Tommy DeVito is the answer long term. He just may be the guy to help get confidence back into the Giants. So
I'm looking at his agent's website right now.
Yeah, bud.
This is unreal.
That's what he looks like.
Yeah,
it's what he looks like. Hilarious. There's a lot of from what I'm reading, it looks like there's a lot of players signed to his agency too, not just Tommy DeVito. I'm trying to get a full list, but there's like just pictures of different athletes too.
Well, of course he is. He's a mobster. So if you don't give him the deal that
Yo.
his player wants, he's going to make you sleep with the fishes. I mean, that's
It
just
is, yeah.
that's just the way it is. My good this week. Listen, guys, let's not play games here.
Oh, put your mask up.
Yo.
Hold up. Hey, JT. After going 6-6 and everybody writing us off, Josh Allen is no good no more. Come through to the Kansas City Chiefs. Everybody's media darlings. Taylor Swift's there. It's cute. Travis Kelce and his brother. Uh-oh. What happened? Josh Allen happened. We back. Yeah, that's right. The Buffalo Bills, who are sitting at 7-6, have a greater than 50% chance if they win out. They can technically lose one game and still make it. The good news for the Bills is, yes, on paper, it looks like we're still the 11th seed. But if you look deeper, if you look at the records and the crazy AFC thing, we're technically tied for 5th. And the good news is the teams that are ahead of us, like the Colts and the Browns and the Titans, and they all have to play each other these last 4 weeks. And the Bills only have to play the Dolphins when it matters when it comes to AFC standings and the Patriots. The Patriots are done. Bill Belichick, news broke today, he's going to get fired at the end of the season. So that's I don't expect. I know the Patriots already beat the Bills technically, but this is a different Bills team. Not only just with Ken Dorsey being gone, but the weak, pro 9/11 head coach Sean McDermott. The team's rallying around him and whatever nonsense that story was. But it's a different Bills team, and you can kind of see it. You can kind of feel it. And I don't think anybody technically doubted that the Bills couldn't go in and beat the Cowboys or beat the Chiefs at any given moment. It's just, again, you have losses to Zach Wilson and the Jets, who I read today, they're going to try to work out a trade. It doesn't seem like he's going to be there. And, the Patriots, as we found out earlier, Bill Belichick's going to be done. So the air's probably out of that balloon a little bit. And then you have the Dolphins, who I get.
All right, let's relax now. Come on, it was just one game.
It's not even that. It's not even just that game. Like, the Dolphins haven't beaten anybody with a winning record. Like, they haven't.
A lot of teams that do that, though.
I got you, but that matters, though. Like, especially when we get into the playoffs, you can make the argument that are the Dolphins tested. The games that they lost are to good teams. No,
but like, Cam Newton in 2015 would have something to say about that, because they went to the Super Bowl without doing that. I'm just saying. In theory, I get what you're saying, because you want to be battle tested, because when you're in the playoffs, you want to be ready for anything. But let's be real, it's the NFL. I want the easiest road to the Super Bowl possible. One, it keeps us healthy, and two, every NFL team has talent on it. Like, the record of we didn't play a good team because of the record doesn't mean we didn't play talented guys.
This guy brings up Cam Newton.
Oh, I know how much that agitates you to bring up guys.
The one good year that he had
that don't get respect. Like Matthew Stafford, who everyone thought he sucked, and then we know what the hell, he wins a Super Bowl. He's out there leading the Rams to a possible playoff berth again. But quarterbacks, right? It's all about Josh Allen.
It's not about Josh Allen. Listen, you play 12 years in the league, and you have one MVP season at 15-1 and make a Super Bowl. Congrats.
You played in Carolina.
What did you do?
We see it was Carolina. It's not Cam. It's Carolina.
You have 11 years of 7-9 and not making it to postseasons back-to-back years.
You got Ron Rivera, which is the millennial Jeff Fisher, the 8-8 king. You're playing with that guy. You're playing with North Turner's son, who couldn't call his way out of a paper bag. Like, come on, you're acting like he was playing for Andy Reid. Like, you gotta factor in their situations too.
He played for Bill Belichick. What did he have? What record was that?
He about to get fired.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Tom Brady also played with Bill Belichick, and he had old Randy Moss.
Now we're seeing the dynamics of that relationship over a 20-year period.
He had old Randy Moss and then a bunch of no-name receivers. So
yeah, and also he played in the AFC East, which is probably one of the worst divisions in football history during his tenure.
I don't know how you guys do it over at JT and the Don, but over here on Stuff About Sports, we're in the results business, not the excuse-making business, okay?
You got one win over 500, and that's called results. I got it. I see what kind of show this is going to be.
Josh Allen has back-to-back postseason appearances. Cam Newton can't say he ever did that. So, I mean,
early exits.
Oh, my gosh. What's your bad this week?
I'm actually going to piggyback off what you were saying. The bad is my Dolphins being embarrassed on Monday Night Football for a couple reasons. One, I kind of suspected this, but I'm terrified now. Our team runs through Tyreek Hill. If he misses any time, we can't do anything. I mean, we got all these fast, speedy, talented guys out there. We got Jalen Waddle. We got Achane, the rookie, Mostert. But they don't mean shit if Tyreek's not out there, apparently. And Tua looks like the guy that I thought he was without Tyreek. So that part really, really was bad to me. And then the Dolphins just proved what I had been saying on our show all year. And Don would always look at me and like, what are you talking about? I can't take the Dolphins seriously as legit Super Bowl contenders because they can't. I'm not convinced we can go on the road and win tough games. Can we go into Buffalo? Can we go into Arrowhead? Can we go into Baltimore and win a tough game on the road in the playoffs? I don't think we can. Shit, we can't even beat the Titans at home when they spot us 14 points with Will Levis, the mayonnaise king himself. We can't even get that done. So the Dolphins as Super Bowl contenders, I'm going to continue to say what I've been saying all year. I'm not buying it until they show me something different.
Bert?
If I have to give it to a particular game, it has to be the Raiders game, to be honest with you. I mean, my God, what a boring game to watch with 3 points on the board, and that came in the third quarter. However, I want to shift my focus back to the Eagles a little bit because we're talking about an Eagles team that for a while people have been speculating, not a hard schedule, lose to the Jets, but then back-to-back now, losing to two top teams in the NFC, two contenders that they will eventually have to meet and run through in the playoffs, showing them that they can't get it done. Now, granted, I know their team's banged up a little bit, but you're going to tell me when you're going up against an NFC East rival that everybody's not pulling together for basically battle of first place is what it comes down to only have the offensive points put on the board by special teams? Like that to me just absolutely blows me away. And look, kudos to Dallas. They could have gotten my good this week too. They honestly hit all points, did what they were supposed to do, and blew it out of the water. But Eagles fans have to be concerned at this point, especially as we wind down the season and start looking at a playoff picture, knowing that the two games you just dropped are the two teams you're going to have to run through in order to make it back to a Super Bowl. So my bet has to go to the Eagles just purely for how their fan base must be feeling and a little bit scared at this point.
My bad goes to the Kansas City Chiefs. You lost. Losers. How about that? Trusting Kadarius Toney.
Why did I sign up to come on this show? I knew this was going to happen. Once I saw the gear, I was like, oh, here he goes.
Crying about penalties. Patrick Mahomes. Travis Kelce having to watch Taylor Swift hug up on a big black dude in the press box that he paid for. So, yeah, Kansas City. That's my bad, you losers. Fugly. Go ahead, JT.
Oh, man. I don't know how you top that, but I'm going to piggyback off you again. It's the Kansas City Chiefs. And not necessarily this game, but this game kind of put it on a national scale, what I've been saying all year. This offense is ugly, and it's ugly because the guy that's calling the plays has been a shit play caller his entire NFL career. Matt Nagy's Kansas City Chiefs are the worst. Like, they're so bad. The Chiefs were the number one scoring offense in the league last year. I think they were averaging almost 30 points a game. They're down to 22. At one point this year, the Chicago Bears had more points scored than the Kansas City Chiefs. Think about that. They had Justin Fields, who you swear is the worst quarterback out there, scoring more points than the Chiefs. And for reference, right now, I think the Chiefs are only like 20 points ahead of the Bears. So Fugly is this Chiefs offense with Matt Nagy calling the plays. It is what we thought it was, and they owe Eric Bieniemy an apology.
I'm keeping that trend alive. My Fugly is the Chiefs too. I mean, partly for the way they played, but I'll be honest with you. I think it's a lot about the Mahomes reaction to the clear penalty. Like, it is what it is. There's video evidence of it, but the crybaby nature, and Jerm, when you put out that video on our socials, at Stuff About Sports on Instagram, You summed it up perfectly. Yeah, he may face tough competition, but if you're going to whine and complain about this, what adversity have you faced beyond that? I mean, has it come truly that easily for you where one penalty is going to throw it all away? And it was largely how he conducted himself for losing his mind, having to be held back, screaming at the officials. And then on top of that, at post game, you have to bitch and complain about it to Josh Allen. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't care in the least bit. If anything, he's probably going to be like, yeah, you want to know why? It was a penalty. Like, quit crying about it. Like, I don't know if he's just been spending too much time at home and listening to his wife complain, as she always does, about the NFL and officiating. And case in point, what she did Sunday night, too, and uploading whatever it was, TikTok or Instagram. But he just absolutely lost it. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't expect it from him. I would have thought he would have had a little bit more composure, especially because he was directing his anger at the wrong people. It was a penalty. So, and then to further it, you had 2 more chances to do something. And guess you couldn't make it happen. So don't be mad at the refs. Be mad that you couldn't get something done. And it could go back to Matt Nagy and the play calling. It could go back to, I mean, obviously just the execution of it in itself and nothing. It was a beautiful play. But when Kadarius Toney is offsides, he's offsides. It is what it is.
So we're not doing any hockey talk on here, but this is a hat trick, ladies and gentlemen. My Fugly is not the Kansas City Chiefs, but Patrick Mahomes. When I saw him throw his helmet in frustration at the call, I literally did. You crybaby back bitch. How dare you? How dare you sit there and complain when just last week you were hype and happy when you got hit and they threw a flag for hitting a quarterback out of bounds and you were very much clearly not out of bounds. I didn't hear you sitting there complaining about the referees making a crucial call, which that call led you guys to win the game. So I don't want to hear you guys complaining about the referees. The referees make bad calls all the time. And guess what? Again, as I've stated, you have just been a beneficiary of it. So don't stop crying when the shoe's on the other foot. And so when I saw that, how I absorbed everything that happened, not just Patrick Mahomes, but Andy Reid, was that the Kansas City Chiefs are finally staring mortality in the face. And you know what that does for me? Makes me happy, puts a smile on my face, because Patrick Mahomes inherited an Alex Smith Kansas City Chiefs team that has won multiple AFC title games. Outside of the Super Bowl wins, the Kansas City Chiefs have been largely the same. High-powered offense. We've watched Alex Smith in AFC title games put up 53 points. So Patrick Mahomes, and I've always said it, do it on the Jets. Well, now you're a lot closer to the Jets than you are to those Eric Bieniemy-led Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl teams. And now you have to actually feel how everybody else is feeling. Man, we can lose a game. That air of invincibility that Kansas City's had the last couple of years is gone. Joe Burrow, Josh Allen has gone into Arrowhead, the only quarterback to go in there 3 times and beat Patrick Mahomes. And unfortunately, it hasn't been in the playoffs. But Joe Burrow has now done that, has gone into Arrowhead. So it's chipping away at it. And now here we go. Kansas City knows with that loss, their opportunity to host a playoff game at home, which they've done Patrick Mahomes' entire career, is over. He now has to go onto the road, most likely, and go and win a playoff game. Something that he hasn't done. As amazing as Patrick Mahomes' career has been, probably the greatest stretch to a start of a career we've ever seen. He's already a Hall of Famer, already a top 10 quarterback of all time. I don't think that's debatable. But should be a reason, if you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan, to be worried that for the first time this deep into his career, he has to go on the road and win a playoff game. You can't, that's not money in the bank. I don't know if you're a Chiefs fan, you can be confident, especially when Kadarius Toney is your best receiver. I mean, so the Fugly is the reaction, Andy Reid's reaction, Patrick Mahomes' reaction, like especially when you've benefited just last year in the Super Bowl when Juju Smith-Schuster committed that awful offensive pass interference call, and it wasn't called, and you scored a touchdown on that play. So people don't want to hear it, especially from the Kansas City Chiefs. When you win a lot, nobody wants to hear you cry over a call that cost you a game just because you're not as powerful as you used to be.